again. Welcome to class 455. Let's continue and finish the Learn to Speak Up Focus Pack, the focused translation list number 10, starting at number 14. No hay tanta agua este año como el año pasado. There isn't as much water this year as last year. There isn't as much water this year as last year, which means last year there was more water than this year. Last year there was more water than there is this year, or than this year. So this year there isn't as much water as last year, or there isn't as much water as there was last year. No hay tantas oportunidades como antes. Okay. There aren't as many opportunities as there used to be. Antes había más oportunidades. There used to be. Yo antes era más joven. I used to be younger. Antes había 20, ahora solo hay 19. There used to be. Antes había. There used to be. There used to be more pencils. There used to be 20. Now there are only 19, I think. Yes, there aren't as many opportunities now as there used to be, which means there are fewer opportunities today than there were many years ago. Si digo many years ago, o abandono used to, y voy a there were. There were more opportunities many years ago than there are now. There are fewer opportunities today than there used to be. Hay menos oportunidades hoy de lo que antes había. There are fewer opportunities today than there used to be. There aren't as many. No hay tantos. Hay menos. No hay tantos. It's the same. There aren't as many opportunities today as there used to be, which is not necessarily true. All right. No tenemos tanto dinero como antes. We don't have as much. Ahora as much, no as many, porque dinero no es contable. Remember, you can't count money. You can count dollars, euros, I don't know, pounds, but you can't count money. How much money? There isn't as much money. We don't have, no tenemos tanto dinero como antes. We don't have as much money as we used to. We used to have more. Now we don't have as much. Now we don't have as much money, Marta. We're out of money. We have less money than we used to have. We don't have as much money as we used to. Se puede parar en tú. We don't have as much money as we used to, or we don't have as much money as we used to have. We used to have more. Now we don't have as much. All right. No tienes tantos amigos. No tienes tantos no tienes tantos amigos como crees, eh? Okay. You don't have as many friends as you think. You think you have a lot of friends? Well, let me give you a secret. Those people that you think are your friends are not necessarily your friends. I know them, and I talk to them, and I'm not convinced that they are really your friends. No tienes tantos amigos como crees. You don't have as many friends as you think. You don't have as many friends as you think. You have fewer friends than you think. Fewer than, as many as. All right. Es el hombre más rico del mundo. Él. He's the richest man in the world. Right now, the richest man in the world, I think, is Elon Musk. And the second richest man is Jeff Bezos. Now, and the third richest man, I don't know, Bill Gates, maybe? Yes. The richest man in the world, but his money is in stocks, in la bolsa, and it depends on the price of the shares. All right. Es el hombre más rico del mundo. He's the richest man in the world. Es la mujer más hermosa del mundo. She's the most beautiful woman, Helen of Troy, Helena de Troya. Helen of Troy was considered the most beautiful woman in the world. Maybe. And who's the most beautiful woman in the world today? It depends on definition of beauty. Beauty has many different possible definitions. So I don't know who is the most beautiful woman in the world. The most beautiful, the richest. Este es el trabajo más complicado del mundo. This is the most complicated job in the world. Teaching English on television. This is the most complicated job in the world. I need to teach for beginners, for intermediate, for advanced. Looking at a naked camera, una cámara desnuda, a naked camera, with lights shining on me, it gets hot. This is the most complicated job. They put makeup on my face. Ugh. And this is the most complicated job in the world. Not true. Soy el hombre más fuerte del mundo. I'm the strongest man in the world. Yeah. Okay, sí. I'm the strongest man in the world. I'm He-Man. Yeah. I'm the strongest man in the world. Eso dice aquí, ¿eh? I'm the strongest man. No eres más fuerte que yo. You're not, no eres tan fuerte, perdón. No eres tan fuerte como yo. You're not as strong as I am. Soy 7 veces más fuerte que tú. Soy un gnomo. Remember? Okay. Soy 7 veces más fuerte que tú. I'm 7 times stronger than you. Yeah. David el gnomo, right? His name was David, right? David. Soy un gnomo. Da, 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 da. All right. And David the gnome is 7 times stronger than me. And he's 7 times stronger than you. So maybe I'm the strongest man in the world, but I'm not a gnome. And gnomes are 7 times stronger than me. No eres tan fuerte como yo. You're not as strong as I am. You are not. You're not as strong as I am. I'm stronger than you. You're not as strong as I am. No tienes tantos músculos como yo. You don't have as many muscles as I do. Look, I have muscles hasta en los dedos. I have muscles. Yeah, muscles. Yeah, I'm strong. Muscles. Se escribe muscles. Ojo. Muscles escrito, pero pronunciado muscles. Suena igual que mejillones, que se escribe muscles. Doble S en medio. Muscles. Los mejillones tienen músculos. Do muscles have muscles? Do muscles have muscles? I don't know. Maybe. Muscles have muscles. I don't know. Muscles. No tienes tantos músculos como yo. You don't have as many muscles as I do. No tenemos much and many. You're not as strong as I am. You don't have as many muscles as I do. No eres tan paciente como yo. You're not as patient as I am. You are not as patient as I am. Yes. No tienes tanta paciencia como yo. You don't have as much patience as I do. Patience, escrito patience, patience. Suena igual que el plural de paciente. So, a doctor can have a lot of patience. Fuera de contexto, that doctor has a lot of patience. Ese médico tiene, out of context, it's impossible. Hearing it, in writing, no problem. But hearing it, it's impossible to know the meaning. That doctor has a lot of patience. Ese médico tiene mucha paciencia. O ese médico tiene muchos pacientes. Okay. Patience, the phonetic sound is the same. All right, sus pacientes son muy pacientes. His patients are very patient. Los adjetivos no llevan ese. Ese paciente es muy paciente, eso sí. That patient is very patient. Quiero un paciente paciente. That's correct Spanish, right? I want a patient patient. All right. But no eres tan paciente como yo. You're not as patient as I am, which means I'm more patient than you are. Yes. No tienes tanta paciencia como yo. You don't have as much patience as I do. You don't have as much patience as I do. This is class 455, right? 455, all right. And another day, we'll continue. with the focused pack, Learn to Speak Up. But for the moment, translation booklet, page, I think, 152. List number 9. List number 9. We're approaching the middle of the book. Sé más que nadie aquí. I know, yo sé más que nadie aquí. I know more than anyone here. I know more than anybody here. I know more than you. I know more than Marta. I know more than him. I know more than her. I know more than them. Yes, I know more than my guardian angel. I know more than anyone here. Esto es un poco más fácil de leer, ¿eh? Esto es un poco más fácil de leer. This is a little easier to read. This book is a little easier. Easier. More difficult? Easier. More difficult? Easier. Easy peasy, easy. Easier, easiest. This book is easier to read than this one. But that book is the easiest. All right. So, él corre más deprisa que yo. He runs faster than I do. Yeah. He runs faster than me. Usain Bolt runs faster than I do. Yeah. Now, when I was a teenager, I was very fast. I was a sprinter, 100 meters, 200, and 400 meters. So I was fast. But I wasn't as fast as Usain Bolt or Carl Lewis. They were faster than I am. Okay, él corre más deprisa que yo. He runs faster than I do. No tengas miedo, ¿eh? Don't be afraid. No tengas miedo de venir a este programa. Don't be afraid. No tengas miedo de hablar inglés en público. Don't be afraid to speak English in public. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. No voy a hacerte nada. I'm not going to do anything to you. I'm not going to do anything to you. Don't be afraid. I'm not going to do anything to you. No te voy a hacer nada. Besides, it's impossible. I can try to reach you, but I can't because you're on the other side of the camera. Even if I decide to throw a pencil at you, you're safe. So don't be afraid of me. Are you afraid of me? If you're afraid of me, don't. Don't be. Don't be afraid of me. I'm not going to do anything to you. No voy a hacer nada a ti, así se dice en inglés. I'm not going to do anything to you. Don't worry. You worry too much. Stop worrying so much. Deja de preocuparte tanto. Stop worrying so much. You worry too much. You worry too much. Stop worrying so much. Calm down. Tranquilízate. Calm down. Yes. Take it easy. Take it easy. Okay, ¿por qué me estás mirando así? Why are you looking at me like that? Why? Stop looking at me like that. You're making me nervous. You're making me nervous. Stop looking at me like that, okay? Stop looking at me like that. Marta, tell them to stop looking at me like that. They're making me nervous. Los telespectadores me están poniendo nervioso. They're looking at me in a strange way. Tell them to stop looking at me like that. Stop looking at me like that, okay? Stop looking at me like that. You're making me nervous. All right. No te fíes de mí. Anda. No te fíes de mí. Don't you trust me? Don't you? Hijo de Carmenchu. Don't you trust me? Don't you? Didn't you? Haven't you? Couldn't you? Can't you? Don't you trust? Didn't you? Don't you? Don't you trust? Don't you? Don't you trust me? Soy de fiar, ¿eh? I'm trustworthy. Digno de total confianza. I'm trustworthy. You can trust me. You can trust me. I will do my best to help you. I will not fool you. Fool is engañar, embaucar. No. You can trust me. No te fíes de mí. Don't you trust me? Trust. No quieres decirme nada. Don't you want to tell me anything? Don't you want to tell me anything? Don't you, otra vez el hijo de Carmenchu. Don't you want to tell me anything? Come on. Tell me something. Tell me something. Don't you want to tell me anything? Don't you want to tell me something? Si creo que sí quieres decir algo, probablemente diría, don't you want to tell me something? Pero vamos, don't you want to tell me anything? Come on, don't be afraid. Yes. Oye, de aquí, ¿quién no tiene coche? Who doesn't have a car? Who doesn't have a car? You don't have a car. He doesn't have a car, Marta. Who else? Who else doesn't have a car? Margarita. Take note. Margarita doesn't have a car. Anybody else? Anybody else? Who else doesn't have? ¿Quién más no tiene? Who else doesn't have a car? Borja. Borja doesn't have a car, by the way. So 3 people, right? Margarita, Borja, and Juan. Okay. So anybody else? No? Nobody else? Nobody else? Come on. Anybody else? No? Nobody else? Salto de any, no. Nobody else? Nadie más. Okay. Nobody else has this problem. So we need to find transport for 3 people. Borja, Margarita, and Juan. All right. ¿Quién no tiene coche? Coche. Who doesn't have a car? ¿Alguien sabe dónde está Pepe? Hey, does anybody know? Does anyone know where Pepe is? Pepe's gone. Perdido en combate. Missing in action. So you think it's missing in action, in acción, in combate. Missing in action. Pepe is missing. Hey, excuse me, Marta, do you know where Pepe is? No? Hey, Margarita, do you know where Pepe is? No? Juan? No? Hey, does anybody know? Does anybody know where Pepe is? Fíjate que digo Pepe is. Where is Pepe? Does anybody know where Pepe is? Marta, nobody knows where Pepe is. You don't know either. Nobody knows. I don't know where he is. Do you know where he is? Do you know where he is? If you know where he is, tell me where he is. If you know where he is, tell me. All right? I need to know where Pepe is. Siempre is después. Solo una pregunta directa. ¿Dónde está el bueno de Pepe? Where is Pepe? Okay. No saben dónde estoy. Ellos no saben dónde estoy yo. They don't know where I am. Yes. They don't know where I am. In fact, they don't know who I am. And me neither. Yes. I've lost my memory completely. I don't know. Where am I? Where am I? What is this? This looks like a television studio. Where am I? I don't know where I am. Fíjate, I am. ¿Dónde estoy? Yo no sé dónde estoy. Where am I? Verbo primero, am I. Where am I? I don't know where I am. De hecho, in fact, I don't know who I am. Who am I? I'm suffering acute amnesia. I don't know who I am. I don't know where I am. I don't know why I'm here. I don't know how old I am. I don't know anything about myself, etc. Todo el mundo sabe que no hay nadie allí, en esa habitación al lado. Todo el mundo sabe que no hay nadie allí. Everybody knows there's nobody there. Everybody knows there isn't anyone there. Okay, otra forma. Nobody knows there's no one there. Nobody knows there isn't anyone there. Excuse me, is there anyone in the room next door? Everyone knows, everybody or everyone? Can you think of everyone? Everyone knows there's no one there. Everyone knows there isn't anyone there. Claro, tenemos las dos formas. Todo el mundo sabe que no hay nadie ahí. Okay. Everybody knows there isn't anybody there. Everybody knows there is, afirmativo, nobody there. Everybody knows there's nobody there. Everybody knows there's no one there. Nobody, no one. Anybody, anyone. Everyone knows there isn't anyone there. There's never anyone in that room. That room is always empty. It's always empty. Nadie me dice nada. Nobody tells me anything. I'm in the dark. Nobody tells me anything. Yeah. People are afraid to tell me the problems because I get angry. I get angry when there are problems, so nobody tells me anything. Nobody tells me anything. Not even Marta. Ni siquiera Marta me dice nada ya. Nobody tells me anything. Do I exist? I exist, right? Yeah. Yeah, I can feel myself, so I exist. But nobody pays any attention to me. Nobody tells me anything. Nobody includes me in the meetings. Nobody includes me in conference calls. Nobody includes me in any activity, and nobody tells me anything. Nobody even says good morning to me when I arrive. It's as if I didn't exist. It's as if. Es como si no existiera. It's as if I didn't exist. Como si no existiera. It's as if I didn't exist. Nobody pays any attention to me. Nobody tells me anything. Nobody comes to my office. Nobody visits me at my house. Nobody even says good morning to me. Nadie me dice nada. Nobody tells me anything. No estoy de acuerdo con ellos. I don't agree with them. I don't agree with them. I don't agree. And they don't agree with me either. I don't agree with them, and they don't agree with me, so we don't agree. We don't agree on anything. I say tomato, and he says tomato. I say potato, and he says potato. I say yes, and he says no. I say black, and he says white. We never agree on anything. I don't agree with him, and he doesn't agree with me. Okay. ¿Saben cuál es su opinión de ella? ¿Saben ellos cuál es su opinión de ella? Do they know? Do they know what her opinion is? El is al final. Do they know what her opinion? No es lo que dice aquí. Do they know what her opinion is? Ella nunca dice nada a nadie. ¿Eh? She never says anything to anybody, or she never tells anyone anybody. She never tells anyone anything. A ver cómo dice aquí. She never tells anyone anything. She never tells anyone anything. Ella nunca dice nada a nadie. En el sentido, nunca transmite información a nadie. She never tells anyone anything. Now, she never says anything to anyone. Es nunca emite sonido inteligible a nadie. No es necesariamente transmitir información. But don't worry, she never tells anyone anything. She never tells me anything. She never tells Marta anything. She never tells anyone anything. All right. ¿Por qué no hablas con ella? Why don't you talk to her? Why don't you? Why don't you talk to her? Why don't you speak to her? Who? To Jennifer? Yeah, why don't you talk to her? No, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. I'm not going to talk to her because she never listens to me. Every time I talk to her, she never listens to me. She doesn't pay any attention to me. She never listens to me. So I don't talk to her. Yes. ¿Por qué no hablas con ella? Why don't you talk to her? Because I don't want to, okay? Le hablaré cuando la vea. Le hablaré a ella, ¿no? Le hablaré cuando la vea. I'll talk to her cuando la vea, when I see her. O sea, cuando la veo. I'll talk to her when I see her. I'll talk to her. I'll talk to her. Talk, talk, talk. I'll talk, ele muda. I'll talk to her when I see her. ¿Y con qué frecuencia la ves? How often do you see her? How often do I see her? Yeah. How often do you see her? Casi nunca la veo. Casi nunca. I hardly ever. Hardly ever. I hardly ever see her. I almost always. Casi siempre, casi nunca. Almost always, hardly ever. Almost always, hardly ever. I hardly ever see her. ¿Por qué no estás de acuerdo con él? Why don't you agree with him? Yeah, why don't you? I mean, I agree with him. Marta agrees with him. Why don't you agree with him? Why don't you? Why don't you? Why don't you, Carmenchu? Why don't you agree with him? Yeah. Nunca estamos de acuerdo en nada. We never agree on anything. We never agree on anything. Él no sabe cuándo es la fiesta. ¿Ah, no? No. He doesn't know when the party is. He doesn't know when the party is. No. Well, tell him. No. Well, why not? Because it's a surprise party for him. Tomorrow is his birthday. And we're preparing a surprise party for him. So don't tell him when the party is. He doesn't know there's going to be a party. No sabe que va a haber una fiesta, claro, es sorpresa. He doesn't know there's going to be a party. Él no sabe cuándo es la fiesta. He doesn't know when the party is. ¿Por qué llevas camisas como esa? O como esas en un armario. ¿Por qué llevas camisas como esas? Why do you wear shirts like those? Or like that? Why do you, bueno, está, Richard, ¿por qué llevas camisas como esa? Why do you wear shirts like that? Like this one? I don't know. My generation. It's my generation. Why do you wear shirts like that? No seas como ellos. Don't be like them. Come on. They're crazy. Don't be like them. Don't be. No seas. Don't be like them. Be like me. Practice your English. Day and night, night and day. See you tomorrow.